I sat on the floor of my small hut, surrounded by my friends, Ada, Ngozi, and Oberi. They had begged me to tell them what happened. They had seen my covered face all year and heard strange rumors in the village. After months of hiding, I decided to tell everyone the truth. That Christmas morning started like every other Christmas I had known. The air was alive with the scent of fried rice and roasted meat. The clatter of pots in the kitchen and my mother's voice singing joyfully as she prepared for the guests. My name is Anuli, and I was 25 years old and a beautiful girl. I had been single for years, and my family whispered behind my back about how no man had come to marry me. Some even said I might never marry. This year, everything was supposed to change. Aku, a tall and kind-hearted man from a neighboring village, had come to ask for my hand in marriage. His family was coming for the introduction, and my parents were beside themselves with joy. I couldn't wait either. I had been dreaming of my wedding day for as long as I could remember, and I thought, finally, my time has come. I was in my room getting ready. My mother had sewn me a beautiful blue lace dress that fit perfectly. I sat in front of the small mirror, admiring my reflection. My heart was racing with excitement as I imagined Ako seeing me and smiling. But then, something strange happened. It started with a sharp pain in my fingers. I looked down and gasped. My nails were growing long and sharp, carving into claws. My heart pounded in fear as my skin began to itch and tingle. When I looked at my reflection again, I screamed. My face was no longer mine. My eyes were bulging and yellow, like those of a toad. My teeth had turned black, crooked and shapeless. Anuli, what is it? My mother called from the other side of the door. She knocked, her voice filled with concern. It's time, my daughter. Aku's family is waiting. You can come out now. I couldn't answer her. I couldn't let her see me like this. My chest was tight with panic as I tried to cover myself with a cloth. She pushed the door open and stepped inside. The scream that came from her lips shook the house. What? What is this? Who are you? And where's my daughter? She screamed and ran back outside. I could hear the commotion outside. My father and Aku's family came running, and I could hear my mother trying to explain what she had seen. My father rushed in with his hunting gun, his face set with determination. Where is the beast? My father asked, cocking his gun. It's in our hut, my mother whispered, pointing. Wait! I shouted, my voice breaking with panic. It's me, Anuli, don't shoot, I begged. He froze at the sound of my voice, but Aku and his family weren't too understanding. His mother grabbed his arm. We cannot take a beast into our family, she said firmly. From that day, everything changed. My parents decided it was best to keep me hidden. They covered me with a large cloth whenever anyone came to visit, and they told the villagers I had fallen ill and needed rest. But I couldn't hide from myself. Every time I accidentally caught my reflection in a mirror or a shiny surface, I would scream, and my screams haunted my parents. After a while, they removed all the mirrors from the house. In the following weeks, my parents became desperate. They brought native doctors from nearby villages, hoping someone could help me. The first native doctor, a small wrinkled man with white markings on his face, examined me for hours. He chanted, threw cowries on the ground, and shook his head. This is not an ordinary sickness, he finally said. It is a curse. A curse? My mother gasped. From who? And why? The man didn't answer. Instead, he gave me a bitter, dark liquid to drink and told my parents to burn incense around me for 7 days. Another native doctor came the following week. She gave me a bowl of herbs to eat and rubbed the thick smelling paste on my skin. The gods has finally smiled on you. By morning, her faith will be restored, she assured my parents. But morning came, and I was still the same. Weeks turned into months, and more native doctors came and left. I overheard my parents whispering at night. What do we do now? My mother asked, her voice trembling. Keep hope alive, my dear, that the gods will be merciful, my father replied. My parents tried their best to cheer me up, but I could see the pain in their eyes. They didn't know how to help me. I hesitated, my heart heavy, but I knew I couldn't keep quiet any longer. I paused, looking at their curious faces. This all began last Christmas, I continued. You see, I made a mistake, a very big mistake, one that I had paid for every day since then. Ada, my friend, leaned forward. What happened? She asked. You all know how the Christmas celebrations always go in our village, I said. It's almost like a competition and no one wants to feel left out, especially people like me. I felt that maybe if I did something different, I may be able to get a man to marry me. Their faces softened, and I saw understanding in their eyes. They knew the pressure. Then I heard about a woman in a faraway village. She was said to have special potions, one that could make your skin glow, your hair shine, and your beauty unmatched, which was exactly what I wanted. So I saved my money and went to see her. She gave me a small bottle of potion and told me to use only 2 drops each day for 7 days. She warned me not to use more than that. But I was impatient. Christmas would soon be over and I needed that look for Christmas. So I used 7 drops instead of 2. Ebere gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Anuli, why? Why would you do that? I looked at her, my eyes filled with tears. Because I was tired, Ebere. Tired of being the girl no one noticed. Tired of hearing whispers about how I might never marry. I wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted to be admired, envied, and loved. But instead, I brought this upon myself. At first, it worked. My skin glowed like the morning sun. I was happy, so happy that I didn't think of the woman's warning. But then, the day of my introduction came and everything fell apart. I lost everything. My groom, my pride, my freedom. For a whole year, I've lived like this, hiding and ashamed. I looked up at my friends, my eyes brimming with tears. There was a long silence as they stared at me, their faces a mixture of pity and sadness. Finally, Ngozi spoke. But what happens now? Is there no hope for you? I hesitated, unsure how to answer. Well, the woman told me the course would last for a year. She said I would return to my normal self on the next Christmas, which is a few days from now, if I learned my lesson. But I don't even know if that's true. I'm too afraid to hope. Ada reached out and took my hand. Anuli, we are here for you. You don't have to face this alone. Later that evening, I sat my parents down in my hut. My heart pounded as I confessed everything. The potion, my disobedience, and the course. My mother cried softly, holding my hand. I'm so sorry, I said, my voice trembling. I've caused you so much pain because of my selfishness. Please forgive me. My father finally spoke. Anuli, you made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But you are still our daughter, and we love you. We forgive you. Christmas morning finally came. I was barely thinking about the course, but my parents hadn't forgotten. They rushed into my room early, holding a small mirror. Anuli, wake up, my mother said excitedly, her hands shaking. I sat up grudgingly, confused. What is it, Mama? Look, she said. But when I finally did, I was shocked. My face, my real face stared back at me. It's gone, I whispered, tears streaming down my face. The curse is gone. My mother and father hugged me, crying and laughing at the same time. I couldn't stop touching my face, my arms, my whole body. Everything was normal again, but I wasn't the same. I finally realized how foolish I had been to let insecurity drive me to such extremes. I finally learned that Christmas isn't about competing or showing off. It's just a time to be grateful, to celebrate with family, and to find joy in little things.